Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for coming to my presentation today. My name is Alok from Pamulang University, and I will present about audience analysis. It is very important to know the background of the audience who will listen or attend our speech before we start the presentation, so that when we present, we have prepared what kind of information we will convey and how it will be delivered. We will also learn some styles of analyzing audiences as well as step-by-step analyzing audiences. And what we will learn is not only for the preparation before presentation, but also during our presentation. Learning objective. After this material is submitted, we are hoping that the participants are able to understand the importance of knowing your audience background information, understand how to select an interesting topic that's suitable for your audience, able to adjust your speech to your audience need, and able to speak credibly to your audience. Addressing your audience. One of the most effective ways to build your connection with your audience is to find some techniques to deal with. For example, by making eye contact and trying to make a little welcome or greetings by standing in front of the podium. So you can also read the situation of the room by controlling the stage when one by one of the audience enters the room. That's before the event starts. By trying to get to greet them before the event starts, as if starting a good communication or relationship with the audience, and hope that the audience is willing to follow what we will convey to the end. If there has been a brief conversation with the audience, it can be a good start for us to start the presentation. Selecting an interesting topic for your speech. There are times when a topic is interesting or boring. It is our responsibility to choose topics that are useful to listen to, topics that are very related to the people who listen to us, topics that encourage, inspire, and open the eyes of the audience. This is where our challenge is to take a deep look at ideas that seems monotonous. Therefore, it is important to choose a topic that is both novel and exciting for us to prepare for. By conducting credible research to ensure that even the most knowledgeable audience can still learn new things from you is the most respectable part. Using the following points is one way to consider how participants will react to the ideas and subject we present. First, by knowing your audience. General characteristics are not limited to age, gender, creed, seniority, education, hobbies, experience, and occupation. They are in one room with the same purpose to listen to the topic that we will convey. Recognizing these commonalities can help us in selecting relevant topics. The second one is identify the nature of the event and its purpose. This can help in narrowing down topics that are relevant and fit for purpose. Do not be trapped by the lack of information so that the deliverer does not reach the target. Know this basic information from the start to help us in finding the right topic. The third one is identify the nature of the event and its I'm sorry. The third one is identify any relevant latest news. By selecting relevant and current topics by doing research will help identify what's on the minds of the audience that keeps them interested. Although in the process of searching for this topic, you will find supporting facts or ideas. And make a short list of possible topics. Which of your ideas is most relevant to the speaking event? Which idea appeals to your audience the most? Which topic are you most familiar with and find interesting? Is there a hot topic that a lot of people are sure to like? In considering all the factors of topic selection by narrowing it down to just a few topics, use your instinct in choosing this topic among other considerations. And the last one is make a decision and commit it. When a topic comes up and we feel attached to the topic, where the content of the speech as well as the key points of the speech outline begin to flow by itself in our minds, that is when the topic selection decision must be made immediately. Clarity of language understanding. As a speaker, in conveying a topic, you must really understand what we are saying. Sometimes a speaker uses sophisticated vocabulary that is too difficult to understand or is meaningless rambling. Determine the terms we will use during the speech must be clear, careful, and consistent so as not to mislead their understanding of the topic presented. Be wary of the use of jargon or internal language that the audience may not understand. By doing an audience analysis, it allows us to present the speech with a clear and unequivocal message so that our intention and goals on the topics can be conveyed. Here are some tips for a clear and uncluttered presentation. First, we must know your goals. You must know your goals. The biggest clarity mistake speakers make is go to the forest without a map. What that means is plan an amazing journey for your audience and your words will automatically have more direction and more clarity. Second one is accent. One barrier to clarity in public speaking may be diction. How to pronounce words. Pronunciation is a general term for the way a word is pronounced. Enunciation is pronouncing a word clearly by pronouncing it better. When people speak, some of them don't pronounce the word exactly as they are in the language dictionary. They say it more casually. Record yourself speaking and play it back over and over again so the other person will have more clarity in public speaking. The third one, watch out for it is a filler word that is often used when speaking in public. Using too many can cause the speaker to appear unprofessional, unprepared, or confused. Although this is perfectly normal, it is better to avoid using the word filler by pausing and trying to take a breath so that we can control the next words we are going to say. The last one is avoid pronouncing words that usually don't really mean much. When speaking in public, we need to pay attention to words that we often repeat without realizing it, like basically, in other words, essentially, or in fact, can reach epidemic proportion basically. Clarity in speaking requires us to use words that are full of power or just to fill the time. The clarity of public speaking can be seen up close when we speak, how we say it, and what we say. Adapting your topic. The choice of topics in front of teenage children in the city of Jakarta about distant learning, for example, when we inform how to learn online with gadgets, they are already owned by teenagers in big cities today. It will be very different if we talk in front of the parents who lives in remote areas. Coping with different audiences like this is another challenge for the speaker. Each audience has its own reference, a certain level or perspective, experience, knowledge, and value they hold. It is mandatory for us as speakers to look up demographic information, gender, age group, marital status, race, and ethnicity of the people attending our speech. Sometimes it is also important to know their socio-economic status. A homogeneous audience is a group of people who share the same level of interest and expertise in a topic, which includes people with different skill levels and interests. It is important to determine the type of audience. So, we must plan the speech accordingly. No one likes to be generalized to their particular group or class. By analyzing your audience, you can minimize the chance of infringement. For example, if you are presenting research on business ethics to a group of specialists, be sure to include points that may apply to their research. If there is an audience that is not an expert, it is important to provide background information and define the key terms. Keep trying to identify points that will unite listeners under a common goal. And I got Scholar Samovar and McDaniel state that ethical language choice required 4 guidelines. Number 1, accuracy. Be accurate in presenting fact. Second, be cautious of emotional impact. Do not manipulate feelings. Third, never use hatred expression. Be considered in choosing your language. The last one, be sensitive. Everyone needs respectful identification. With respect, people can only willing to listen to you, accept your message, and it's very important. I have 3 basic terms in building efficiency of speech. I have ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos is credibility, authority, reliability. It's the speaker's way of convincing the listener that he or she has good character and that his words can be trusted. By having trust and respect, equality, authority, expertise, and reputation. In other words, a speaker must say something true, can position himself as an audience, but he also has knowledge of what he is talking about. Logos. Logos is logic, reason, and rationality. It's the speaker's way of engaging the audience through logical thinking by providing scientific evidence to support his argument. He can also develop an ethos so that it becomes wider. Is the message coherent? Does the evidence he provides support his claims? Will the audience action lead to the desired goals? And the last one is pathos. Pathos is emotion, sympathy, and imagination. It's a speaker's way of persuading his audience by evoking their emotion at the same level and tone. Once emotionally connected, the speaker can transfer his belief easily. Strong pathos can help a speaker to convey his ideas smoothly and can be easily accepted by his listeners. Well, that is my presentation about audience analysis. I hope we all can learn something from this presentation. Well, from me, Ella Krishyawati, thank you very much, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.